What if you could have unshakable confidence? I think we all have those times where we feel a little self-doubt, a little wondering if we're up to whatever the task is that we're facing right now. But I have discovered a way that seems almost fail-proof. I say almost because one never knows. Maybe there's a situation out there I haven't discovered yet where this won't work. But so far, I have not discovered that situation. Enough with the teasing. How on earth can you have unshakable confidence, regardless of what you look like, what you sound like, whether you are sick or healthy or rich or poor? How can you possibly always, no matter what the circumstance, have unshakable confidence? Well, I'm so glad you asked. The answer comes in 4 parts, and the first one is gratitude. You know, if you're ever feeling less than confident, if you're ever feeling doubts about yourself, about what you're doing, about your business, about your relationship, about anything at all, just start thinking about what you're grateful for. And I know this is almost a cliche these days. Everybody talks about gratitude journals and their gratitude practice, and it's kind of like exercise or writing a book. Everybody's talking about it, and I don't think anybody's doing it, or very few people. I won't say anybody. A lot of people talk, many people don't do. In other words, as they say in Texas, all hat, no cattle. So how do you actually experience this gratitude of which I speak? Because I believe that it's very hard to be doubtful and lacking in confidence and be in a state of fear when you are in a state of gratitude. Well, just think about things that you truly are grateful for and clear your mind and really think about and feel the gratitude. And I mean, you may have to look ridiculous to do this. You may have to close your eyes and take a deep breath. And I just think about my wife, Lynn, to whom I've been married for 32 years and who is the most beautiful, most caring, most kind, most forgiving woman I've ever known. And she's so important to me, and I'm so grateful to God that He brought us together and that we're still together after all these years and that I love her so much. I'm so grateful to have that privilege of having someone like that in my life. Just talking about it changed my emotional state. So what are you grateful for? It doesn't have to be, if you're not married or you're not in a great relationship, you might say, well, great, thanks, Ray, that made me feel worse. What are you grateful for? Maybe you're grateful for a pet. Maybe you're grateful for not having a pet because you were tired of cleaning up the messes. Maybe you're grateful for your business or your job or your kids or your home, or maybe you could be grateful for small things like, oh, I don't know, clean drinking water and antibiotics. Just a few things to be grateful for. Maybe you're grateful for, like right now, I'm grateful for the blue skies and the sunshine right outside my office. I'm going to go out and enjoy that in just a few minutes after I make this video. There's so many things to be grateful for. So the first step to unshakable confidence is gratitude. I feel even more confident right now, don't you? What are you grateful for? The second key to unshakable confidence is grace. Now, I am a follower of Jesus, and maybe you're not. So please don't let this part alienate you. Please know that there's something of value here for you as well. Even if you don't believe in my religion, you're free to believe whatever you want. I'm not trying to change your mind about anything, but I want to share with you a principle that comes from following Christ that I believe can apply to everyone. And that is, because of the way Christ came into the world to pay the price for the sins of all humans, past, present, and future. And all we have to do is accept His gift of grace. We don't earn it. We couldn't possibly earn it. We couldn't possibly deserve it. That's the point of grace. Grace is about more than just forgiveness. Think of it this way. Forgiveness would be if a police officer pulled you over and you were speeding. And they pulled you over and said, did you know you were speeding? Yes, officer, I didn't know I was speeding. And you're fully expecting a ticket, and the police officer says, well, I'm going to let you go with a warning this time. And they write you up a warning and send you on your way. That's forgiveness, and it feels fantastic. It's wonderful. But there's something beyond forgiveness. Imagine that same scenario, and the police officer says, did you know you were speeding? And you say yes. And the officer says, well, I'm going to ask you to please be careful, don't speed anymore. And I want to give you a gift. And he gave you a $100 bill. He said, take this $100, slow down, go enjoy a cup of coffee somewhere, and be safe. Have a great day. And he turned around and walked away and left you sitting there stunned. That feeling of getting more than you deserve, more than you could have expected, that is what happens when you're under grace. And all of us can experience it. Even if you're not a follower of Jesus as I am, you can experience grace from other people. You probably have. You can give grace. If you want to feel grace, if you don't feel particularly grace-filled right now, here's what to do. Go extend some grace to someone else. This is a big secret about controlling our emotions. If you're lacking in a certain emotion, like confidence, like love, then go give that emotion to someone else. Demonstrate your love to somebody. If you want to feel loved, go be loving. So in this case, I'm saying grace is part of unshakable confidence, because grace speaks to that little voice inside you that's always condemning you. It's always saying, well, that was stupid. You said something stupid. Or you did something dumb. Or you're not as good as that person. Or you don't make as much money as that other person. Or your house is not as nice as so-and-so's house. All that condemnation is the opposite of grace. So if nothing else, give yourself some grace and watch your confidence level rise. I'm going to stay spiritual on you because the third key to unshakable self-confidence is the belief, having the faith that you are guided, that things in your life are not happening by accident. And sometimes things happen on purpose that are not good because there are people, and I believe there is a force in the universe. Some call it the resistance. Some may call it the devil. Some may just call it evil. But whatever you think of this force as, it is malevolent. It is out to do harm. There is such a thing as evil in the world. So how can I say we're guided when something like that comes along? Your child is killed by a drunk driver, or someone you love is brutally murdered or attacked. How can I say, well, that person was guided? Well, bad things do happen. We are not always in control of that. Sometimes things happen and we just have to accept, well, that happened. So we can't change it. But what we can do is we can figure out, well, what are we going to do with this challenge we've been presented in our life? And that's where the concept of guidance comes in. If you know you're guided, then you know that even if something bad happens, the force of good that is guiding you, and I believe it's God. God is guiding you, and He can take any situation you find yourself in and turn it around for your good. In fact, there's a verse in the Bible that says, God makes all things work for the good of those who love Him and who are called according to His purposes. And here's a hint. We're all called according to His purposes. And if you get to know Him, you'll love Him because He's very lovable. He may not be the way He was presented to you in the past. For instance, I don't think He's angry with you. In fact, I'm pretty sure He's not. But you're guided. Okay, maybe you don't believe in all this God stuff. And you're like, Ray, stop with the God stuff because I don't believe that. But you are guided, at the very least, you're guided by your higher consciousness. There's a part of you that is receiving guidance that is wise. I mean, even when you've done something dumb in the past, wasn't there a part of you in the back of your head going, no, don't do that? That's guidance. Know that you are guided, and that will help bolster your confidence. And finally, the fourth key to unshakable confidence may seem really counterintuitive, like what has this got to do with confidence? But it's another G word, but it's a soft G. This G word is generosity. If you're feeling less than confident, if you're feeling somewhat shaky, especially on the grounds of finance and provision and resources, then go do something generous. Let's say you're driving through the coffee stand and you're getting some coffee. Pay for the coffee of the person behind you. Drive away. Be generous, even if you can't afford it. I'm telling you, there's something about this generosity thing that floods you with confidence, that floods you with the knowledge, you know what, there's enough. There's always going to be enough. I will find a way to get the resources I need. I will find a way to overcome the challenge that I'm facing. Generosity unlocks something inside of us that releases a flood of confidence. This is why the principle of tithing is so universal among different faiths. Every faith has some kind of teaching that says, take a portion of what you earn, what you create, what wealth you receive, and give it away. Usually the number is 10%. Why would we do that? Why is that a good financial principle? But why is it good for you to give away 10% of your income? Wouldn't it be better to keep that and invest it? No. I believe that it is a way of us teaching ourselves the lesson that there's always enough. There's always more than enough. And I also believe, as a follower of God, that it's a reminder to us that we own nothing. God owns everything. And if you don't believe in God, then you can certainly agree with me on this. When you leave this world, you will take nothing with you. So you don't really own it. You're just temporarily in charge of it. You're temporarily stewarding it. So when you give part of it away, it helps reinforce that idea that, you know what, this is not mine really anyway. I'm going to give it away and more will come to me. And it teaches you internally the lesson of abundance. If you want unshakable confidence, here are the 4 things you need to make that happen. Gratitude. Sit down and write out the things you're grateful for and feel it, own it. Grace. Give yourself some grace, receive some grace from God. Understand that you don't have to perform in order to be valuable. You're valuable just the way you are. Next, know that you're guided, that no matter what's happening, guidance is available, that you will be guided to make the right decision in every situation. You'll be guided to say the right words, to make the right choice, to do the right thing. You are guided. And finally, be generous. Commit a random, anonymous act of generosity every day. And if you will practice these 4 principles every day, I believe you will see in yourself the evidence that it works, because you'll have unshakable self-confidence. Don't believe me? Give it a try. Share your experience below. Go try it, and then come back here and comment and let us know, how did that work for you? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so yet, why not subscribe to this channel so you can get encouraging messages like this frequently? And if you want them frequently, make sure you tap the bell icon. That way you'll be notified whenever I publish something new. Until the next time, I pray that God will bless you with grace and guidance, and that He'll do more for you than you can ask or even more than you can imagine. Live long and have a prosperous life.